This is a review of the Red Helium 8K Wet. Just kidding. What up, YouTube? I am Sean Nerona and I film weddings. Today we are going to be talking about one of Blackmagic's products, one of my favorites. This is the Blackmagic production camera. A lot of you filmmakers out there probably have the same problem I do, and I've been searching for a camera that I am happy with. Something that'll give me beautiful images that I want to work with in post, that I'm going to be proud of when I look at later and that I show my clients. We live in a world where there's Sony, Canon, Red, Arri, and there's just all these names being thrown at us and we have no idea what we want to buy. We just know we need a camera that works, and we probably don't have $30,000 to just drop on a Red. I'd been looking for a main camera body for a while, and the Blackmagic Ursa Mini just came out and I was drooling over that camera. But I started looking at the specs, I started looking at the things I needed to add on to that to make it work. The accessories just added up to so much expense. Then I started looking on eBay and I found one of their older models, the Blackmagic production camera. Also shoots 4K. This thing was worth $3,000, brand new, and I was getting it for half the price. So let's talk about specs. This camera is not a full frame, it doesn't shoot slow motion, and the battery life sucks. So now you're asking me, Sean, why would I want to buy this camera? This camera produces some of the best footage I have ever worked with in my life, and I've used a lot of cameras in my time. To be completely honest, this camera's image quality is probably overkill for weddings, but that doesn't stop me from trying to push the boundaries of how good I can make a wedding film look, and you should too. But remember, it's not about the camera, it's about you. A lot of cameras out there shoot 4K and have a 4K sensor, but this camera captures so much detail that even when I'm shooting in 1080, I can crop in without losing any detail noticeably. The Blackmagic production camera has a Super 35 size sensor. For a while, I was on that Micro Four Thirds system with the GH4 and the GH2. I was using a lot of cheap adapters. You have no idea how happy I am to have a big size sensor again. I've got more shallow depth of field, more light coming into the camera for low light situations. I've seen this camera footage side by side with a Red Epic and the Red Scarlet, and it holds its own and says, hey, I'm here and I'm great. Not taking away anything from Red, those are in its own league of cinema cameras, but for the money, this camera produces unbelievable footage. The Blackmagic is not a DSLR, it's a professional video camcorder. So it has features that you're not even used to using that you probably need as a professional. It's got zebra stripes so you don't blow out your highlights. It's got focus peaking so you don't have to question if something's in focus. It's got time-lapse features, and it can shoot in log form so you can get more dynamic range out of your image. Like I said, the battery life on this thing is not great, so I've added an external battery so I can switch them out anytime I need to. I've added a mic to it for running gun audio. It even has a big screen on the back to use as a field monitor, and of course you need some good glass to go with it. I know a lot of you out there are wondering, what should I buy? Is this the one for me? And the person that would want to use this camera would probably be someone that is doing a little bit of documentary work and doing a little bit of studio work, because it is very versatile and will work great in both situations. I'm a very positive person and I hate talking things down, but to make this a fair review, I have to talk about the things I don't like about this camera. This camera does way better in the shadows than it does in highlights. As soon as you click these highlights, that information is gone. That detail is gone and you're not gonna get it back. It looks disgusting. It's made me a little bit of a highlight snob. I'd rather have this camera footage to be underexposed than overexposed. If you're taking this camera outside, I would definitely recommend ND filters. Basically, if you take the time to light this camera right, it looks perfect. I know that sounds funny, but it's completely true. Honestly, that's my major complaint with it. If there was some way to put some kind of optical low pass filter for skin tones and highlights, or if you could put some kind of limiter to where the highlights just couldn't go above a certain point, that would be amazing. Kind of unrealistic, but that's my wish list. Honestly, I wish it had a flip out screen. That would be a great addition to this camera. Blackmagic does make the Ursa Mini and the Ursa Mini Pro, and those do have flip out screens, so Blackmagic has been on top of that. The only other thing about this camera that I don't like is the size and the weight. This is not a huge camera to begin with, but I've gotten used to these tiny DSLRs very portable, easy to get around, and I've turned into such a run and gun filmmaker that it's just a lot easier to have a small camera body in my hand and get the shot I needed. If the specs of this production camera were put into the size of the Blackmagic Pocket and had the same slow motion capabilities as some of the Sonys out there, that would be amazing. That would be my ideal camera. Anyway guys, that's why the Blackmagic 4K production camera is the one for me. If you have this camera, tell me what you think. If you're looking to buy a camera, what camera are you interested in? If you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment. I will get back to you as soon as I can. If you like this content and want to see more, please like and subscribe to this channel. Stay tuned for more wedding videos and videos like this, and I'll see you guys in the next one.